Robert Klein has been making us laugh for more than 40 years. And in 1975, he launched stand-up comedy on HBO with his first solo special. This Saturday, he returns with his 9th HBO show called Unfair and Unbalanced. Take a look.
There were little things about getting older that pissed me off. I never banked. I can't open things. A soy sauce took me 8 minutes. There's little ripples, but it ain't opening. And I can't use my teeth. $34,000 restoration. Dr. Himmelfarb.
Was it really Dr. Himmelfarb?
I'm still drying my eyes with tears from the Gulf. What an opening act. A disaster.
Very difficult to follow. How are you, sir?
There has to be humor. Good to see you, Harry.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah.
I'm going to first go all the way back to 1975. Have you any idea how many viewers HBO had in 1975? Did anybody in America know what HBO was?
It was called Home Box Office. They didn't call it HBO.
Right.
And my recollection is they had about 400,000 or 500,000 subscribers in eastern Pennsylvania, Long Island, and Manhattan. They had a staff of a few dozen people. Now it's the crown jewel, one of them certainly, of Time Warner.
Huge, huge, huge.
Yeah. And it's entirely my doing.
Oh, if it weren't for you, you are the linchpin, as they say.
Well, it was a novel idea.
Right.
It was a novel idea.
But when you went on HBO, part of the idea of it was you're on HBO. People have to pay for this. You can kind of do whatever you want. It's not basic cable.
Yes, including obviously risque material and not particularly profane, but we are adults, and profanity is an important part of the language when it's used aptly, not as a substitute for wit. But now I open the torrents now. Now even their westerns, these cowboys ride into town and say things I don't think cowboys ever said.
No, they did not.
But yet the absence of profanity when it's apt can be. I mean, The Sopranos has been sold to A&E, where it's completely sanitized. A man gives the another one the bird. Suddenly he's an amputee. They blur it out. And, it's a lot of darn and forget. Forget you! Forget your mother! Forget! There's a lot of forgetting on the A&E Sopranos.
I wondered how they would pull that off.
It was an amazing idea because at that time, I was doing The Tonight Show and Merv Griffin and all those other shows. And what do you get? 6 or 7 minutes to show you stuff.
Right.
And it was a wonderful way. And I was doing a lot of colleges then. And so they chose one.
And 1975 was the year, if I remember correctly, that SNL started as well. Where you were one of the first.
I was in the first season.
Right.
My first host was the 5th show in the whole series.
Right.
I told Lorne Michaels, this will never last. Go into another business.
Get another job.
No, we were nervous then.
But you were the guy standing at the counter for the first.
Oh, that was the next time I hosted. I was the first customer in the cheeseburger sketch.
Okay, very
that was
good.
I wanted eggs. That was 1970. It was so funny, even in rehearsal, that we couldn't keep a straight face.
Wow. As you said about doing a new show like this, do you just let the currents of current event take you where it will, or do you usually have an idea ahead of time? This is where this show will go.
Well, it's always organic. I mean, I'm getting older now. I started. I'm now a geezer. I mean, I've geezerized over the years, so my interests change a little. But when I do any kind of politics on my shows, I do it in a kind of historical perspective, not something that'll be forgotten next week.
Right.
But one of my main targets are these hypocritical infidelities, these politicians who, pray in the morning in their little residence and they shtup everybody else's wife at night.
There is that. Why? It just kind of never goes away.
People believe their own Spitzer. I mean, people believe their own PR. Or
be careful of sanctimony. It's always.
Well, he wasn't. He was just a little depraved for a moment there, I guess. But these guys like Craig and Vitter and Governor Sanford, Argentina. Tell him I'm on the Appalachian Trail. I'll be back in 4 days. Senor, my baggage.
You know what? It's only, well, I would almost said unfortunate, but BP would be such a spectacular target for your lampooning.
May I say that, all this who's to blame and all to blame, we're all to blame. We're pigs. It's a parable for us. American preeminence is not guaranteed. And unless we learn that this stuff has dangers. Where are all those drill baby drills now? What, it was a dental convention? I mean, I want to see them pay for what. You can't just do it. If you don't have the technology to cap it at that depth, it shouldn't be done. You know, all that oil that's fouling everything, it probably wouldn't run the automobiles in Texas for 1 day.
An hour.
I mean, an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, it's minuscule. That's how much we use of that stuff. So let's get off it. I mean, it's coming back to us in bullets. Everybody knows this, but Americans have a memory of about 12 seconds. You know, you couldn't get a Toyota Prius, then gas went down. Forget it. Right. Too many Priuses. And you can't stop a Prius. That's another thing.
Robert Klein, we will look forward to seeing your show on HBO, Unfair and Unbalanced, Saturday, June 12th on HBO at 10 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific time. Really great to see you.
A great pleasure, Harry. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
A lot happens early on The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.